Hello friends, welcome to the semester. Okay, so I have already gone through the introduction part of the subject career skills, and now I am going to start my first topic. Okay, when we were going through the syllabus, so in that my first topic was sitting arrangement, but at the time of study my first topic will be blood relation, right? Okay. There is a reason behind it, because blood relation is a topic that is used in sitting arrangement. So when you will not study blood relation, you will not be able to do the good quality question of sitting arrangement. So what is my suggestion? That you go for the blood relation first and thereafter sitting arrangement. Okay. So as the name implies, blood relation, it somewhere deals with the relationship of blood, right? Okay. And what will be the type of question? Let us first discuss how many types of question can be made in blood relation, right? Okay, so my answer will be there can be three type of questions that can be made in blood relations, right? My first type of question will be statement based question, where you will be given some statement like pointing to a photograph. A man tells a friend that he is the son of only son of my father's wife. Then how the boy pointing into photograph related to the men, right? So this is a general statement where you have to you have to answer that how two persons are related with each other. Okay, my second type of question will be based on the equation. Based on the equations, that means the equation is always in the form of plus, minus, multiply, divide, dollar, asterisk, percentage, and etc. So equation will be given and you have to answer how two people are related with each other. That means you have to tell the relationship, right? And third type of question will be based on set or directions. Like you will be given a number of directions, like 4, 5, 6 can be any number of directions. You have to make the arrangement and finally give the answer. Okay. All these three type of questions can be answered by making the arrangement. If you are not good enough in making the arrangement, you cannot give the answer, right? Okay, now let us come what is this arrangement? Like arrangement is nothing if we come to put all my relationship under a tree like structure. So I can make a tree of all my relationship, right? Okay, if I can make my tree of the relationship, then that tree will help me in making all type of arrangements, right? Okay, so first of all we go through this tree, that how we can build up a tree with all my relationship, right? Okay, so as I discussed what is a tree, if I put all my relationship in a tree like structure, so how can I put? Okay, let us try. All my relationship will be somewhere dealing with me, right? So I start making this arrangement with I, right? If I ask you that how many relations dealing with I can be put in the same generation, right? So this can be brother, this can be sister, this can be cousins, this can be brother-in-law, this can be sister-in-law, right? So these are the relationships that can be in the same generation with I, right? Okay, and one thing is there, that wife. And a thing that you have to keep in mind, that whatever the generation, whatever the relationship you are building with the same generation, you have to make with a straight line, right? With a straight line, that means a straight line, apart from the couple, right? And if you have to make a couple, like I made I, and if I come to made my wife, so I would have to make a double-sided arrow and wife, right? Okay, so this was the generation of me. Okay, if I come one generation above, so what can be the people? This can be mother, father. And when I draw I and my wife with double sided arrow, because that was a couple, so I would have to make mother and father with the double sided arrow, because that is also a couple. Okay, if I come to draw uncle, so I can draw with the single line, because that is not a couple. If I draw aunt, so this will be a double sided arrow, right? Thereafter father-in-law, mother-in-law, so this can be father-in-law and mother-in-law, again a couple, so I can draw it with the double sided arrow. Friends, it is very important that whenever you are drawing a couple, draw with the double sided arrow line, right? Okay, if I come one generation above, so this can be a grandfather, grandmother. But if I talk about maternal grandfather, maternal grandmother, that is coming under mother generation. And if I talk about grandfather and grandmother in father generation, that will be paternal, right? Same as this, if we are talking about maternal uncle, so this can be from the mother's generation. And if I talk about paternal uncle or aunt, this can be from the paternal generation, right? Okay, if I come one generation below I, so what can be the relationship? Like this can be son, this can be daughter, this can be niece, this can be nephew, right? So all these are the relations that comes under I, first generation, second generation, third generation, and the zeroth generation, right? So all in all, that I have made the tree based on 4 generation, right? Okay, how this tree is going to help us when we are doing the question? We have to just keep one thing in mind, that whenever we are making a couple, we have to make with the double sided arrow, and if we are making anything else apart from a couple, so we have to just make with a single line. If we are going generation above, so we will have to go up. If we are going generation below, so we have to go down, right? So these are the basics of the question, how we are going to make the arrangement. So let us start with the question that I have already discussed, statement based questions, right? Okay friends, let us start with the question number 1, statement based. Okay, so how the question will be, you can look at the board. Like the question is, pointing out to a photograph, a man tells his friend, she is the daughter of only son of my father's wife, right? Then how is the girl in the photograph related to the man? So friends, as I discussed when we were dealing with the tree was starting with I. So the point come from there. Like any statement, any arrangement, I have to start with I. So the question is, she is the daughter of only son of my father's wife. So I start with I, my father, my father's wife, only son of my father's wife, that means I itself, and the daughter of, that means I am talking about my daughter. Let us have once again, the question is, she is the daughter of only son of my father's wife. So I started the question from I, my father's wife, and only son of my father's wife, that means I, and his daughter, that means my daughter. Therefore answer of this question will be daughter, right? Okay, coming to the second question. Second question is, pointing out to a lady, a girl said, she is the daughter-in-law of the grandmother of my father's only son. How is the lady related to the man? So first of all, in this question I would have to draw my father's only son, right? My father only son. So I start with I start with I, my father's only son, that means I itself, and the grandmother of my father itself, that means my father's mother. Thereafter the daughter-in-law of the grandmother of my father's only son, that means the wife of my father, that means my mother, right? So in this question, I is talking, and about M I am talking. So who is M here? M is my mother, right? Okay, so coming to the next question, question number 3. We have to just make the arrangement, and we can easily find out how the relationship is. Okay, coming to the third question. Third question is, if Kamal says Ravi's mother is the only daughter of my mother, then how is Kamal related to Ravi? So again, Kamal mother is the only daughter of my mother. So I start with my mother, right? My mother, and only daughter of my mother, that means this will be my sister, and my sister is Ravi's mother, that means Ravi will be one generation below, right? So I am talking, and about Ravi I am talking. Let us go through once about the statement. The statement is Ravi's mother is the only daughter of my mother. So Ravi's mother is the only daughter of my mother. So I am talking, and about Ravi I am talking. So I am talking about my niece, because the niece is the sister's son, right? Okay, let us go to the question number 3. Question number 4. Like question number 4 is, if Neena says Anita's father Raman is the only son of my father-in-law Maipal, then how is Bindu, who is the sister of Anita, related to Maipal, right? So I again start with my father-in-law Maipal. So how we can draw father-in-law? It is very simple, friends. I and my wife, whoever she will be, his father is Maipal, right? Because I am drawing here my father-in-law Maipal. Okay, so Anita's father Raman is the only son of my father-in-law Maipal. My father-in-law daughter will be my wife, and only son of this will be Raman. So Raman can be here, right? Raman is whose father? Raman is Anita's father. Anita's father Raman. So this can be drawn. Thereafter, how is Bindu, who is the sister of Anita, related to Maipal? So if I come to draw Bindu, so Bindu will be on the same generation, and as a female, so Bindu will be female, right? So the question is, how is Bindu, who is the sister of Anita, related to Maipal? So Bindu will be the granddaughter of Maipal, right? Okay, coming to the next question, question number 5, right? Okay, how the question is pointing out to a photograph. A man said, I have no brother or sister, but that man's father is my father's son. So I start with my father's son. So this will be my father's son, that means I itself, right? And I have no brother or sister, but that man's father is my father's son, that means that man is my son, right? Let us go through these statements once again. The question is, I have no brother or sister, but that man's father is my father's son. So I have no brother, my father's son, that means I, and who is I is that man's father, right? So that will be my son, right? Okay, coming to the question number 6 here. Like the question is, looking at a photograph, looking at a portrait of a man, Harish said his mother is the wife of my father's son. Brother and son, I have none. At whose portrait was Harish looking? So friends, my father's son, that means I can start with I. My father's son, that means I am talking about myself. His mother is the wife of my father's son. So my father's son, that means I, and his wife, that means my wife, and his son will be my son. So in this question I am talking, and about this I am talking, so I am talking about my son, right? So friends, this was all about the 6 questions. If you have any doubt in any question, you can ask. Okay, we discussed some more question based on this, right? So friends, let us come on question number 7. The question is, like Deepak said to Nitin that boy playing football is younger of the two brother of the daughter of my father's wife. So I start with I. My father's wife, that means my mother. Thereafter that boy playing football is younger of two brothers of the daughter of my father's wife. My father's wife and daughter of my father's wife, that means my sister. So I can write it as S. And younger of two brothers, that means one brother will be I itself, and again next brother will be this, right? So I am saying, and about this boy I am saying, so this will be my brother, right? Okay, coming to the next question, like question number 8. The question is, like Anil introduces Rohit as the son of only brother of his father's wife, right? So here the keyword I is not there, so I can start the question with he, right? His father's wife, so I can start with he. His father's wife, that means that can be drawn like this. Only brother of his father's wife, that means can be drawn like this. Anil introduces Rohit as the son of only brother of his father's wife, right? And this is the Rohit. So about Rohit and he, who is he? He will be cousin, right? Okay, so coming to the question number 9. The question is, like Veena, who is the sister-in-law of Ashok, is the daughter-in-law of Kalyani. Dheeraj is the father of Sudeep, who is the only brother of Ashok. How Kalyani is related to Ashok? So friends, in this question also the keyword I is not there, so I would have to start the question from first statement, Veena, who is the sister-in-law of Ashok, right? So I start with Ashok, and Veena is sister-in-law of Ashok, that means the wife of Ashok, female, and his sister will be Veena. So I can draw like this, okay? Veena, who is the sister-in-law of Ashok, is the daughter-in-law of Kalyani. So again, Veena's husband, that will be a male, and his mother will be Kalyani. So I can write it as Kalyani here, okay? Dheeraj is the father of Sudeep, who is the only brother of Ashok, okay? So Sudeep I can draw here, and Dheeraj is the father of Sudeep, that means Dheeraj can be drawn here, right? Okay, so how is Kalyani related to Ashok? Kalyani is here and Ashok is here, right? If we look at the available options, this cannot be mother-in-law, this cannot be aunt, this cannot be wife. The answer of this question will be none of these, right? Okay, so let us come on the next question, question number 10. Like the question is, Amir said the girl is the wife of the grandson of my mother. So I start with I, right? My mother, right? Grandson of my mother, that means my son. The girl is the wife of grandson of my mother. I, my mother, grandson of my mother, that means my son, and his wife, that means that will be my daughter-in-law. Amir related to girl, so Amir of girl will be the father-in-law, right? So friends, this was all about the statement based question, where I was starting the question from I, and later on I was making the arrangement, right? Okay, my second type of question is equation based question, right? Okay,